A good product manager is the center of the team. A lot of your cross-functional partners trust you. They trust you to make the decision. They trust you to be the domain expert, to give them a direction, to give them a trustworthy strategy and a good solution to help the team make impact on your customers, right? As a good product manager is the center of the team. A great product manager decentralizes the team. This is another thing to tell all of you guys to keep you guys up to date how we use AI today. So in big companies, we use AI for coding. We already don't have data scientists for product managers. We use AI data scientists. I think this is when a disruptive technology happened. Most of the founders are tech founders, and it just leads to a not good product experience. Now we're not saying it's not good, not even targeting like conservatives. We're just talking about visionaries. The visionaries don't even want to use it. So a good product is also a key for you to build up your business advantage. These are the divisions that you probably want to keep an eye on. That's also why a lot of companies that I use as examples in this class fall into a lot of these divisions, because I want you guys to research on these divisions. These divisions might have more positions open, might have more opportunities in the future. So yeah, keep an eye. After you analyze the whole thing, you maybe come up with a solution like this. Right. Today, if you subscribe premium, you can see who are the where are the recruiters come from. You can have a list of company information, and you can check out their jobs as well. So there are 5 types of product managers, and these 5 types of product managers are are divided based on the job the skill sets they have. So today we will talk about how to write PRDs and MVP design, and I will expand the topic a little bit and really dive deeper into what a product manager's life look like. Just to give you guys an overlook of different types of product management and what type of skill set that you guys need to have for different type of product management. We briefly talked about this on our first class, but we didn't have time to dive deeper into it. Most of the classes in this course were focusing on product strategy. So we talk about industry analysis, company analysis, competitive analysis, and all of these analysis are the evidence for you to define where your product is going. Right? And after the product strategy, under that product strategy, you want to look at what target users you have. What are their job to be done? And if they have a specific job to be done for your product, then what are the user pain points today to stop them from doing their job that they want on your product, right? So identify the user pain point, which need your user empathy a lot. You need to put yourself into the user's shoes. And then after all the pain points, you design your solution. So there might be a lot of pain points from a user. And for all of those pain points, some of them might not be that painful, right? And for some of them might only have, you only probably have one user having that problem. Some of the user pain point, you probably have a million users having that problem, right? So from pain point, you already should have a prioritization of which one you are dealing with right now. Every product is not perfect, and there will be a lot of problems when you work on a product. But you have to have a very clear prioritization in terms of which pain point you're going to work on first. And after you choose the pain point that you're tackling right now, and you dive deeper into what type of solutions that you can design on your product, right? And for different solutions, they might have different estimated impact. This depends on how your product works and also how big of a total addressable market or how well it could solve the user pain point. And that will define how well it could solve the problem for the users. So at the solution stage, you can also have your prioritization, right? You only have one engineering team. So you probably want to work on one biggest bet and the bet that you have the most conviction. And then you go to MVP design. Basically, the whole solution might be a lot, right? And you might have a lot of hypotheses when you come up with the solution. You want to have data to support your hypothesis. Later, I will talk about why only data, okay? You want to have data to support your hypothesis. If it is a 0 to 1 product, you don't have data. So you have a lot of hypotheses within this solution. So you want to tackle this bit by bit, right? You want to deliver MVP first. You want to ship as fast as possible. You want to iterate later. So you want to ship the MVP and see how people react to it to validate your hypothesis. And that's how you can move further. And within the product design phase, we also have market research and UX research. What is the difference? Market research is when you have an idea. You think you want to do this, right? But you don't have design. You just want to do research from your potential users to make sure that this is a real pain point for them. And they would be interested in this idea. And UX research is when you have a design and you want to see how users interact with your user experience. And then after all of this, right, it goes to the product execution phase, where you need to define your success metrics. What are the metrics that you want to look at that could define the success of your product, right? Every time when you launch a product, specifically on big products like LinkedIn, Meta, Google, like all of these big firms, right? Every time when you launch a product, there will be some of the metrics going up, some of the metrics going down, right? So you have to make trade-off. You have to define success metrics. Success metrics is as long as this metrics goes up and all the guardrail metrics are not breaking the benchmark, then you are going to launch this feature, right? If this success metric is neutral, then that depends on other metrics to define whether you launch this feature or not. If the success metric is negative, then you for sure are not launching this feature, right? That is what we call success metrics. And within success metric, the most important metric is North Star. And then we have signpost metrics, which are the other kind of metrics that you want to keep an eye on. And we have guardrail. And then it comes to prioritization. Prioritization here, I mean, like when you decide which product to work on, or quarter planning. This week is the planning week. So you want to have a clear prioritization, what to work on, and also make trade-offs when you launch product and do A/B testing. A/B testing, how to design A/B testing, what is the trigger logic, how do you want to divide the users, what type of metrics are you looking at site-wide scale or at a specific like area kind of scale. So you want to define how do you want to do the experiments in the A/B testing phase. And then it comes to go to market. When you design a product specifically for 0 to 1 product, it is very hard for you to build the awareness to your users. So whether you want to work with your marketers to do campaigns or to spread the word out, or you want to work with your business development partner to have partnerships with other companies to drive traffic to your feature, right, to further improve adoption. So this is how to go to market. And also you will have customer feedback. Customer feedback is qualitative feedback. So usually it is very hard for you to like launch a feature that all of the people will hate you for this. But it is very common for you to launch something and some people will hate you for this. Right? So you want to know why they have a complaint. And this customer feedback is not decisive usually, unless from some customer feedback you identify a bug, or it is just a very bad user experience that you didn't think about it during the product design phase. But usually most of the customer feedback are like expected behavior. It's just some of the customers might not understand why your product is designed this way, or some of them might be confused using a product, which is very common. And when you go through the customer feedback, those feedback are qualitative feedback, so they're not decisive, but a lot of their feedback can give you inspiration of new features. So why they're saying like stuff like this, right? So you want to understand the reason behind the reason, the reason behind the complaint. And that is what can give you inspiration. And lastly, cross-functional collaboration. When you work on like your product as a product manager, you have to work with all the cross-functional partners that we mentioned in different stage of the skill set. For example, your designer, your engineers, your data scientists. By the way, this is a trend in Silicon Valley that product managers don't have data scientists anymore. So you guys have to do analysis yourself. And marketer, business development, business people, finance people, legal, privacy, regulation, researchers. I think those operations, product operations. I think those are probably all the cross-functional partners I have. And this is within your team, right? So we call this team a product team. And if you want to work with some other product teams, right, there will be a cross-team collaboration as well. So if other people want to build on your product, or you want to build on other people's product, we want to have a concept of product owner. So we have alignment to make sure that we don't break things, right? So that is a cross-team collaboration. So this is basically the different stages of a product manager's work cycle. And also previous class, we talk about conservatives. right?
Yes.
Conservatives always have complaints. And sometimes they have complaints not because your product is not good, it's because they're just not happy. Which makes sense because I use LinkedIn every single day. And right now I still stuck at LinkedIn and and don't have a new job, right? So I will have complaint too. So it is probably not because your product doesn't work well. It's probably just because they don't have the expected outcome from your product, right?
Right.
So
Hmm.
there will be multiple factors to affect their customer feedback. Um, and
Okay.
previously, I work on smartwatch device, and a lot of people just simply don't like the stats show up on their smartwatch because they're not happy with their heart rate, they're not happy with their like health status, and they will complain about your smartwatch. So a lot of complaints are like this, but there are also a lot of legit complaints, and you need to filter out the legit complaints. And some of the complaints might not seem legit, but if you dive deeper, and you will figure out a bigger problem. For example, this class I will use my job a lot, so you guys can know what is on my top of mind on a daily basis. So if you go
Okay.
to LinkedIn, right, and if you go to who in my profile, and this is what I'm working on every day, right? This page is what I'm working on. So previously, when I first joined the team, and one of the customer feedback, or this is not even minority, like a lot of people have the feedback, is they realize there's a number here, right? How many profile viewers you have. Let's say it is not 3,000, it is 30. And we will get a lot of customer feedback saying there aren't 30 people in this list.
Hmm.
So at first I was like, are you fucking crazy? You count every single person. But then I realized that I am the minority because not a lot of people have 3,000 profile views in the past 90 days. So if they
Correct.
only have 30 profile viewers, or let's give a more extreme way, right? You only have 3 profile viewers and you only see 2 people on your list, you will definitely have problems, right? I will have problem too if I'm in that case. So if you
Right.
see that customer service ticket, what you realize is not like, of course, the numbers don't meet up. You probably want to explain more. That's why we add a little bit question mark here to answer why there are profile viewers who are private, right? And another problem is if the person viewed you twice, we will only show once on the list. So stuff like this, we can explain all the edge cases to you to make sense of it. But if I really give you 3,000 viewers, you won't count every single one. So this is also an indicator to tell me that majority of the users on this planet do not have enough profile views, and they have to care about every single one of them. So it's just
Right.
you can understand a lot about the implications of their complaints.
So you finally went up with giving all the people's profiles, or you went up with the people who have a lot of profiles?
You have to earn your profile views. So you have to tell those premium members how to earn their profile views. But yes, we do have a lot of initiative to help premium members to get more profile views.
Thanks.
No problem. It is always a very complicated journey to analyze users' complaints. User complaints or all kinds of like market research, UX research, all of these are qualitative feedback. Qualitative feedback is extremely hard to analyze. It is not as straightforward as data. So it very depends on the product manager themselves to define how to deal with all the qualitative feedback. The same qualitative feedback might mean different things for different product managers. For example, when during our like consumer product manager offsite half a year ago, we did some user interviews just during the offsite. And one of the user was saying that he doesn't like there are too many AI generated content on LinkedIn feed. And when I heard about this, I was like, my first intuition is, um, yes, you need to do critical thinking when you look at the customer feedback. But also, I would always believe that customers are always right. So if majority of users are using AI generated content on LinkedIn, it says something to you, right? Again, previously we talked about it. If users have a need, they're going to think about how to use it anyways, how to use your product for their need anyways. There is no way for you to stop the user need. So if most of the people are using AI to generate content on LinkedIn, it says something to me. Why are they not using AI generated content on Instagram? Because they see Instagram as a more personal social media. They see LinkedIn as a more professional social media. So they're more cautious about what they're sending out there. They want to make sure that their content is well written, right? And also they feel more comfortable to use AI tool in their professional life than their personal life. So it can tell you a lot of insights. Well,
So like which content is getting reach on LinkedIn? AI content or people who really write their content?
so first, if that is your question, then we have to identify what is the AI content. So we can only tell whether they use the AI tool on LinkedIn, whether it is an AI content or not. If you copy paste ChatGPT to LinkedIn, then it is extremely costly for us to identify whether it's an AI content or not, right? So if you're saying that our algorithm has a preference in AI versus non-AI content, first we have to identify whether it is an AI content or not.
Right. Hmm. Got. Hmm.
It's very costly, is what I'm trying to say.
But
It's not
you
doable.
guys have changed the algorithm, right? Because since past 3 or 4 weeks, I see relevant content getting more views. Like there are content which was posted 2 weeks, 3 weeks before is now coming onto my feed. Before it was not. It was more about recent. I don't know. They just have.
Well, you got to figure it out more. And yes, we are
Okay.
doing experiments all the time. Do you know how many experiments I'm running right now? I think I already closed my quarter. Um, but I still have like 10-ish experiments going on. Before I close this quarter, I mean, probably half a month ago, I probably have 30 experiments going on. So that is only like
Wow.
product manager. And there are how many product managers do we have? I think at least we will have 500 product managers. So yeah, we have thousands of experiments every quarter. So yeah, there is
I'm also a
something going
B2C
on.
product manager. I can see if you're running 30 experiments, how a day would be like. Like your bandwidth would be always be choked. Like, damn,
Well,
please.
it is gonna be you guys' future job. So who is laughing now? So let's go through
Thanks.
this thinking and to use my product as an example, right? If we talk about from strategy perspective, what is the trend right now, right? The job market is not good. The economy is not good. We are just talking about job seeker now. Okay, there are a lot of audiences out there, target users out there. For the simplicity of this task, we just talk about job seeker. Economy is not well. The marketplace is not balanced. Right? There are way more job seeker than employer than positions. So the job seekers are extremely active on LinkedIn, but they are not getting their expected outcome, aka a job from LinkedIn, right? So that is the job seeker. And for a lot of what we call career accelerators, they want to accelerate their career, but also the economy is not good. Companies are laying off. You probably already have job safety issue, right? And at the same time, you're not getting as many promotion as previously. So a company doesn't really have that many headcounts or opportunities for you to get promoted. So you probably feel very defeated at work. So this is the whole trend, right? Economy, job market, everything. And then now we're talking about job seekers. And job seekers' job to be done is to get a job, is to find a job on LinkedIn. What are their pinpoints on who view my profile, right? Previously, let's say if you only could see who view your profile, you can't generate insight from them. You don't know who are hiring managers. You don't know who can give you an opportunity. You don't know whom to reach out to, right? Also, all the recruiters viewing your profile, you can only see how many recruiters view your profile, which is, hate LinkedIn for this clickbait, for me to subscribe premium for that. Um, it's not helpful. You only know like three recruiters view your profile. How are you gonna take next actions for that, right? Do you know that all these recruiters are the jobs that you just apply for, or they're just like random recruiters that you will not be interested in, right? It's not helpful. So these are the pain points. Users are not uh, getting relevant insights from who view my profile as a job seeker. People who cannot take next actions as a job seeker on who view my profile. They cannot make sense of who view their profile, right? What is the solution? we can tell the users where the recruiters come from, right? What companies those recruiters come from. That might be a very relevant insight for job seekers. Whether those are the jobs that they already applied for, meaning that, oh, the recruiter saw your resume and they come to see your profile, or those are just random recruiters outreaching and reach out to you or not, you probably still want to check out their positions, right? You're just curious. Why does this recruiter or this company interested in you? Maybe you have a side of your resume that you didn't pay attention to, right? So we could show the company information to the profile owners as well. Prioritization, I won't dive deeper into it. We can talk about multiple solutions and do a prioritization, but North Star metrics for me will be premium revenue, right? So no matter what feature I design on the premium side or on the freemium side, I need to drive premium sign up or I need to drive premium retention. Premium retention is usually you build a really good value for the premium member to stay on premium, right? And specifically targeting job seeker is a good thing for us. Why? Because a lot of users, a lot of premium users at least applied for one job. So you know that no matter they are like real job seekers that they just want to land a job within the next couple of months, or they're casually browsing, they are interested in the recruiter information, right? And on the other side, job seeker are also the type of user segments that are very easily to churn from premium. Why? Because they subscribe premium, they land a job, and they churn. They're very goal-oriented, right? So in this case, you probably want to build more values to let the job seekers stay on premium. So this is how we usually do prioritization. Based on these success metrics, you have an estimated impact. And in this case, the estimated impact is huge. I think we're going to go for it. And then the MVP design, maybe eventually I want you to directly land the job, right? But right now, I just want to see whether you guys, job seekers, are interested in where this recruiter come from. So I will build that first. And then I will build maybe associated with the hiring manager information or give you AI drafted messages for you to outreach or directly tell you that which job you should be suitable more, right? So these are the later stages, but MVP, I'm just showing you a company information. Of course, this is a simplified way of how I analyze this project. This is a marketplace, right? So it is not only job seeker. If you want to show the company information, you got to work with the recruiter team as well. So whether the recruiters want to show their company information, right? What type of companies want this type of visibility? These are also the problems that you want to solve. Whether you are giving the recruiters the right to change their setting, or are you giving the admins of the contract to be able to change their visibility setting, right? How do you want to manage the control, the setting control on the recruiter side? Because that is a B2B SaaS thinking process, right? So B2B SaaS is different as how consumer product managers think about this problem. Are the recruiters feel comfortable? Will the recruiters feel comfortable with this setting change, right? If we have a default setting, how can we communicate with the recruiters better to make sure all the recruiters know that we are changing this feature? Okay? So all of these have to be included in the MVP because there will be legal concern. There will be like the enterprise concern is way bigger than the consumer side. Okay, if enterprise complain about us, it is way more than one consumer complain about us. So you want to design both sides well. Right, success metric we already talked about. Go to market is basically how do you want the members, the free members, premium member, free member, and recruiter side know about this new feature. Right. After you analyze the whole thing, you maybe come up with a solution like this. Right. Today, if you subscribe premium, you can see who are the where are the recruiters come from. You can have a list of company information, and you can check out their jobs as well. There are so many things that I haven't tackled in this MVP. For example, if you're seeing like the fourth recruiter information in my list, which is a staffing and recruiting company, if you click into view jobs, there will be no jobs because that staffing and recruiting company is working for someone else, right? So that is not a helpful information. That information will not be helpful for you, right? Because who is that staffing company working for, right? So this is not included in an MVP. The product is not perfect. I will probably tackle it in the future. But I'm using this example to tell you how to go through the whole thinking process. So there are 5 types of product managers, and these 5 types of product managers are are divided based on the skill sets they have. So this is not from me, okay? This division or this like concept is from previously. There's Lenny's newsletter. I think he interviewed a product manager at OpenAI, and I think this definition is very helpful for me because my previous experiences cover all of 5. So I like this concept, okay? And maybe some other product managers say some new concept that I haven't tackled yet, and it is not a strength for me in the job market, and I don't like that concept. But I like this concept. Okay, so consumer product managers are the type of product managers that, for example, design the value on who in my profile, right? They're just thinking about what their users need, who are their target user, how do you help their lives make their life easier. Consumer product managers also have a bunch of principles. So, for example, there will be a lot of things that you could do on your surface, but you don't want to do, right? So, for example, right now, if you go to your Who You My profile, you probably realize, let me show you this. Oh, my profile is very hard to show this, but let me try if I make the number a little bit smaller. Let's just see the past 14 days, right? All the full public and semi-private users are here. But let's say, oh, this one. Actually, there is a very good example. You see someone on LinkedIn here, right? And if you think about this, this information is not helpful to you at all. And why this information is there? This person is not full private because if that person is full private, at the end of the list, you will see an aggregated card saying how many people view their profile in private. And that's why I used the shortest time duration to help myself to go to the end of the list. But so yeah, 460 people view their profile in private, right? So that person is not a private person. And if I actually keep his name there, I probably can drive more profile views. We probably can give users more insight. We probably can make more users stay on premium instead of just being like irritated by why are you showing someone on LinkedIn on my list? Well, this list, I just only want to look at people who are public, right? Why do we keep the someone on LinkedIn there? Because this is a spammer. And LinkedIn as a platform is trying to protect you from not reaching out to that spammer. We think that person is suspicious. And because how our infra is structured, that person is just suspicious very recently. And that's why we haven't put it in the aggregated card yet. But given said that, if I show that person's name to you, I probably can drive more downstream metrics, right? But I'm not driving it because trust and safety is the most important principle on our platform. That is how consumer product managers think. Because metrics are not the most important thing. Principles are very important. User experience is very important. And consumer product managers are usually type of product managers that are data driven, but they are more like an artist. They have a lot of feelings. Okay, they care about the user experience a lot. They will have a lot of opinions about their designer's design. So that is the first one, consumer product manager.
I have a question.
Yes.
But as a job seeker, I don't know the meaning of like someone from like Microsoft. I just think like LinkedIn didn't give me enough information, so I cannot get the design of this part.
That's a good feedback. And
if it was like someone at Microsoft rather than HR at Microsoft or product manager at Microsoft, that would be I guess product managers are viewing my profile. Something like that.
That is the right mindset to be a consumer product manager on my product. Guys, you guys are right. Okay? But I'm not a consumer product manager mindset on my product. So now I will tell you how I grow my product as a growth product manager.
Oh, are you actually a growth PM?
Yes.
Mm.
I'm also growth PM. Damn. Thanks.
So most of my time at LinkedIn, no matter right now working on subscription or previously I work on user growth, my mindset is very growth product manager. And my manager, my skip manager love me to work on holding my profile with a growth product manager mindset. Why? Because holding my profile and profile appearances and all the premium analytics are the major premium revenue driver. We previously talked about this. Premium as a business is $3 billion. All the analytics product is probably half of it. So it's $1.5 billion on these analytics products. So it is a huge revenue on stake. And also the email and notifications is our huge daily active user driver. Our notification click-through rate, email click-through rate is the highest across LinkedIn. One of the highest across LinkedIn. I think it's top 10. So given that all the metrics contribution, you have to have someone with a huge growth mindset to work on this product. Otherwise, it's very hard for you to get the full potential of this product. Now, let me tell you, what is a growth product manager mindset? A growth product manager mindset is, what is the metric you want me to drive? You want me to drive premium sign up? I will give you $100 million this quarter. You want me to drive premium retention? I'll give you $100 million from retention. If you want me to drive daily active user, I'll give you 2% of daily active user this quarter, right? The metrics goes first. As long as I have a North Star metric, I will think about how to reach that North Star metrics. This is also how our organization is structured. So premium user growth, both of the teams land under consumer growth org at LinkedIn. So how our OKR is structured is also like this. So for user growth team, every quarter you have your DAO OKR, right? So probably this quarter you're gonna drive 1% out DAO. Okay, that product manager is gonna drive 1% down. All of you guys add together 5% down. Okay, so this is like top down. Microsoft on LinkedIn to drive 5%. All of you guys have to figure out how to drive 5%. And is it important for the leadership to know what projects you are going to build next quarter? Maybe. But you probably have 5 projects there, and you tell the leadership that you are going to drive 1% out of it. And then one of your projects doesn't work. You expect that one project to drive 0.1% down from out of it, but that project didn't give you any DAO. And here is where your growth product management mindset come in. Your OKR goes first, okay? There isn't an option for you not to meet your OKR target. So you have to think about whatever you can build within that quarter to actually meet the 1% DAO. And it's the same thing on the premium side. It is a very sales mindset. So that's why I have this full course for y'all from the middle of our first quarter till the end of this quarter, right? The whole course is almost 2 months, and I started this course with y'all from the beginning of August. Why? Because I already met my target this quarter. So I can spend more time with y'all. Yeah, so on the premium side, every product manager has a revenue target. So I have making this up $10 million for this quarter. Some other PMs might have $5 million, $10 million for this quarter, right? No matter what you do on your product, of course, you need to have a little bit consumer product management mindset not to do bad things on your users, right? But as long as you meet those principles, you do good things for your users, you have to meet your target. Your metrics goes for first. And also growth product management are very data driven. So you tell me you don't like this metric, you tell me you don't like this notification, but 80 million other people click into that notification and my notification click-through rate is the highest. So I will probably listen to those 80 million people instead of listening to you. That's the growth product management mindset.
No, I'm happy that you already reached your targets.
My target.
Wait, that's actually crazy. Wait, so you have like the
Yeah,
remainder.
actually in India it's different, you know. Like if I reach my targets, they just increase my target for that quarter because it's like
They did. For the past year, every quarter, my manager double my target compared with my previous quarter, but I still double my delivery compared with the target. So now I
damn.
think she just gave up.
Wait, do you get like bonuses? That'd be so cool. JJ just secretly like just makes bank and we just don't know.
Yeah, I will trim this part out, but just give you guys a sense of how much this senior product manager drive at LinkedIn. Okay, so for example, for Q1, our target is the highest. Why? Because this is stupid. How financial year is calculated. Um, Now we are diving too deep into business concept, but that's also why, by the way, that most of the AI startup B2B SaaS companies tell you that they're driving 10 million ARR. That number is wrong. Okay, I will tell you why. So there are two concepts. One is in-year revenue, one is annualized revenue. And the annualized revenue is the ARR that we talk about. Okay. And the in-year revenue is how much money actually go into your bank account at the end of this year. And the annualized revenue is after you ramp this feature to 100%, how much does this feature drive within the 1 year? So if you given these two concepts, you will realize a very interesting thing is Microsoft. Let's use Microsoft as an example. Microsoft is different as all the other companies on this planet. Okay, Microsoft physical year is from July to June. It's not from January to December. So right now we're talking about from July to September is the most important quarter we have. Because whatever feature you build or launch in Q1, the in-year revenue is going to realize the whole year, right? So rather than you build something and launch something at the end of June, you only probably the money come from your feature in the bank account is only that 1 month. But if you launch something in July on the Microsoft financial report, it is going to realize the whole year. So that's why this quarter is the most important quarter for financial year. Well, now am I losing you guys? You guys look at me like you're very confused.
Yes, can you explain it again? I got confused. Like
You can run it back. I won't complain.
This
little slow.
this is subscription 101. Okay, and that's why you can also realize why those startups calculate them wrong. So in-year revenue is how much your feature make till the end of this physical year.
Yes.
Annualized revenue is how much money your feature is gonna earn if you launch this feature to 100% for a year.
So like if I launched it like January 1st.
So if you launch the feature in June, your in-year revenue is gonna only be that 1 month that you ramp to 100% because Microsoft year stop at the last day of June. But if you're talking annualized revenue, both like no matter when you launch that feature, ARR will be the same. Did I lose you guys? Give me some feedback.
Yeah,
So
that's clear.
annualized revenue is a projection, right? Like this might I be able
Both
to
of them
earn
are
if I
projections. Both of them are projections because you never know how many people are going to churn from premium. Yeah. So let's say I have a very important feature giving me $10 million annualized revenue. Okay. That means that if I have this feature on LinkedIn for 1 year, that feature is going to estimate it giving LinkedIn $10 million. But that in-year revenue and annualized revenue will be the same if I ramp this feature to 100% at July the 1st. Because in-year revenue is going to let my feature realize it for a year. Annualized revenue calculated for a year, right? So if I ramp this feature on July the 1st, it will be the same no matter it is in-year or annualized. But if I ramp this feature on June, in-year revenue will only be, like let's say first day of June. Then in-year revenue is going to be 1/12 of the annualized revenue. Because annualized revenue is after your feature ramp to 100%, how much does your feature earn in that 1 year after 100%? In-year revenue is how much your feature is going to earn after ramp to 100% till the end of this physical year. And Microsoft financial report or any company's financial report, they don't care that much about annualized revenue because they only care about the revenue that goes into their bank account. They don't care potentially how much your feature earn after 1 year. So that's why we care so much about in-year. Annualized is just giving all of your feature the same starting point, right? Now, annualized revenue is just a measurement for you to compare between features. This feature is more important, that feature is not. But in-year revenue is the estimation of how much money going to a Microsoft's bank account till the end of fiscal year. So given said that, I just want to say that this quarter is the most important quarter of in subscription. And yeah, so they have been increasing my target every time. So originally, when I first joined the team, my target was like $2 million per quarter. And this quarter, I committed $14 million. This is already 1 year after every quarter they try to increase my target. And $14 million, I closed this quarter at the second week of the July. And also first week of July, LinkedIn is shut down. So I basically prepare all the experiments and ramp it exactly after the shutdown. So on the second week, I closed this quarter and deliver $30 million. And right now, I still have 2 experiments holding and ramping in the next 1 to 2 weeks. And in total, I'm gonna give Microsoft $50 million in the first quarter. So yes, thank you very much. That's how I got promoted, guys.
So I'm curious, for the growth product manager, instead of being the data driven, do you also like design some market activities to drive the growth?
Yeah, that is kind of neutral because it depends on what type of culture your company has. So at LinkedIn or at any social media related companies, product managers has a lot of control. Why? Because social media companies need product manager to be very opinionated, and they need a lot of users' empathy. They need to understand the user a lot because social media is very sensitive to a lot of details. And that's why for social media companies, product manager have a lot of say. And in that way, the business development or the marketers or designer or engineers will go with the product manager. So given said that, if you want to go to market for your feature, you probably have a proposal to your marketer and tell the marketer you want to do whatever and whatever. And the marketer will give you an actual plan of how they're going to execute this. But this is only in social media company. In other companies, the other people might have a bigger say. In B2B SaaS, for example, sales have a larger say than product managers. So we talk about B2B sales are the people who used to be on work, right? So they're very tough, and product managers need to go with their biggest clients. And consumer product management or consumer product manager in consumer social media type of company, the product managers have a lot of say.
Your career is always around B2C PM like Tesla and this.
Yeah, if
But
you find a company that you find myself a good fit in it, please refer me. Thank you very much to analyze my skill set.
just like curious, like, do you feel B2B PMs grow faster than B2C?
Define grow faster.
Career growth, like being into the leadership role, like director or
I don't think there
as
is a
B-
difference.
no?
No, I don't think there is a difference. And even with the Charlene, just one more point. Even with the people's impact, there is no difference. Like for example, consumer product managers might have like 10 to 20 experiments per quarter, and every experiment drive like $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. Some of the experiment might drive you $20 million, $30 million. That's it. And you still every quarter need to have a portfolio because you need to meet your metrics anyways. So you need to have some of the best that you feel very confident with. Some of the best are being venture best. So in general, you're driving that much money, right? But consumer move faster. Consumer also have smaller project because you can divide and conquer. Enterprise side is different. When I work on LinkedIn ads, I work on a feature for freaking half a year, and that feature drives $80 million. So yeah, it's just how they work is different. And we will talk about enterprise product management later, but their working style, the stakeholders they're working with, and their thinking process is very different.
I'm wondering during your work experience, do you have any times you have the conflicts with other PMs, like say other people, their prioritizations is not the
Oh,
right.
all the time, girl, all the time. It will be a surprise for me not to have a conflict with a PM in a week. Every week there will be some conflict. And it is so common. The third one, business product manager. Let me give you an example of a business product manager. For example, previously when I work on LinkedIn ads, as a business product manager, you probably are taking charge of the marketplace of the ads. I don't know how much you guys know about the ads, but ads is a marketplace, if you guys don't know. And it's the same with Uber, with LinkedIn Job Market, with let's say who else? Google search results, right? All of them are marketplace because they're supply and demand. And in ads, the demand side is the advertiser side. The advertiser give you advertisement, give you campaigns, and you either put their campaigns on LinkedIn or on third parties like New York Times or CNN.com. Right? And as the product manager for the marketplace, for the ads marketplace, you want to make sure how we bid on ads placement, or like whether to put this ad at this placement to these users are the best result, are the best delivered outcome for the campaign managers, right? This sort of marketplace management, you need to think about pricing. You need to think about bidding. You need to think about predictions, right? You need to think about algorithm outcome. These are very business driven. You don't really think about how users feel in your decision making. You just want to target the lowest cost per click, lowest cost per impression, the highest delivered outcome, no over deliver, this type of metrics. So you're very metric driven kind of business, and you just think about how to make your business better. Another example is pricing for LinkedIn Premium. So you increase the price, you lower the price. These are pure business decision making. You don't really think about, oh, how people feel when you increase the price. No, you just think about how much money you get or lose from increasing the price, right? So this is business product manager. They are extremely good at like marketplace supply demand relationship. They're extremely good at analysis, at business sense, at business strategy. It's a business product manager. And then we come to platform product manager. I also have an experience in my resume, to let you guys know what is a platform product manager. Besides of all the analytics product I work on at LinkedIn, I also is responsible for a technical foundation, a data infrastructure platform. And this data infrastructure platform supports all the analytics products across LinkedIn, including creator analytics, page analytics, of course, who my profile search appearance and stuff. So we want our partner teams to have an experience of plug and play. So they don't need to design different graphs themselves. They don't need to think about, oh, which data set should I get this data from? This is a unified solution for multiple partner teams to like design their own product. So as a platform PM, do you do all the things that your partner team asks for? Definitely no. But if all of your partner teams are asking for the same thing, you better do it, right? So you want to look deeper into their problem to see what is the core issue that caused the problem. And then you want to see whether by solving this core issue, I could enable a lot more business opportunities for other partner teams. Because you don't want to build 10 features on your platform that don't matter. You want to build that one single feature on your platform to make your platform simplified to enable more business opportunities. That's platform product management. Research product management. I briefly have been a research product management. When I was founding my first startup from 2016 to 2019, that was a very researchy product because the only job that I'm doing during the maybe 3-4 years is to find a product market fit, to find the right problem to solve using this algorithm. So the research is already there. My researchers are designing the best computer vision algorithm in China. But me as a product manager need to find a use case for that. I also have been a research product manager when I work at Tencent AI Lab. It's the same thing. They have a research, they have paper to publish, they have a study that they are researching on. And I need to find, oh, maybe for that game, we can use that algorithm for that use case. And that probably is something that the users might want. And also, research product managers need to do a lot of assistant work as well, because researchers are the most important people in this world. I also have a mindset of, even if you're like product manager, like common product managers, engineers time value a lot. So I think this is a mindset that I want to give you guys. And a lot of product managers, by the way, don't have this mindset. Like, your time as a product manager isn't that valuable. The engineers' time are the most valuable people. Why? Because if you think about from a company perspective, who got paid more per hour, right? So you want to save the company's time. So that's why a lot of your job is to try to save the engineers or researchers' time. Whether to draft a better PRD, so the engineers don't need to go back and forth with you to confirm what exactly do you mean by that requirement. Or on the research side, you want to do a lot of things for your researchers if you have the time, like cleaning data, data management, labeling data, and sourcing data, mining data, right? These are the type of job that you want to do for your researchers as well. I know there are a lot of questions about growth product management. And I want to here talk about the differences between product marketers and growth product managers, because a lot of people don't know the difference. Product marketers are basically doing two jobs. One is user research, and the other is product go-to-market. So you can think about this as, before you design a product, you want to have insights from your marketers. After you develop the product, you want your marketer to help you go to market. And of course, you could have, maybe you do a little bit more, you do a little bit less. The boundary is always very blurry. As long as you guys are happy working together, it's fine. So yeah, but product marketers are doing campaign-like or survey-like, research-like, right? And product-like growth or growth product managers, they do features on the product to increase certain metric or grow your product.
So growth product manager, if I want to drive a metric, growth product manager works on a feature to drive that metric. Product marketer does campaigns or enables that metric through various channels, right?
Yeah, so use a very simple example. I want to drive new user acquisition for LinkedIn. My job is probably build a bunch of third-party logins on LinkedIn. Or I could think about how to improve the indexing of LinkedIn website to make us rank higher on Google, right? That's a product manager's job. A product marketer is, now they have a lot of paid campaign on TikTok, on YouTube, on a lot of other platforms to tell those people through ads that please use LinkedIn.
Okay. But even retention would be part of the product marketer, right? Because
It depends on through what channel. Let's say if you want to drive retention through product features, you want to recommend 10 really good people that person can connect with on LinkedIn. It's a product manager's job. If you want to drive retention just by sending an email to the user, let's say right now you want to send one email to the user to remind them to come back to LinkedIn, you can use product marketer's job because it is not a product email, right? If you want to write a well-programmed email every week to that user to remind that person come back, that is the product manager's job.
How do you decide which approach do you want to go to? Whether it's through like,
same question.
yeah,
What do you mean? What approach? Like from email side?
like the way you want to grow the engagement or retention.
So a very easy way to distinguish how you want to spend the effort is, marketers are usually a very exploratory journey. So marketers just have campaign themselves, right? If the campaign works, then you probably want to productize the whole campaign. That is through like email and notifications. So marketers want to try it out. They want to send an email reminding you of all the premium features and see whether it works. If it works, then I'm spending more engineering effort on it. Again, engineers' time are the most important people's time. So you marketers or product managers, you guys are trying to have a really rough MVP to test the idea out in order to save the engineer's time. You don't want to spend your engineers on this for a quarter and then it doesn't drive metrics. So you can let the marketers go first and see whether it works from a campaign. And if it works, you productize this whole thing. Marketers, a good marketer always have a lot of cheap ways of doing things. And they could always like help you test out a lot of stuff. For example, I have a really good marketer on the user growth side that always just twists a little bit on my email and notification copy. And she just like do experiment herself and give me free money. A lot of times, like after her experiment, it drives so much money, I need to revisit what copy she has. And I think a lot of times she really grabbed the user psychology really good.
So when you build a feature, the messaging part, the positioning part is done by a product marketer?
That one, I think you want the product marketer's input. So it depends on how your team, how your company is structured. For example, at LinkedIn, we have an internal platform called Chameleon. So basically, all the non-engineering people, including product manager or product marketers, could change any copy exist on this product to do A/B testing, and you don't need engineers involved. You guys feel confused? Let's say notification copy, right? Is 3 people view your profile, see details, the best copy for click-through rate? Probably not, right? And your marketer probably have 10 more options for you. The marketer doesn't need to go through engineers to help her to make to do the A/B testing. She can just use this platform to do A/B testing herself. So in that way, the marketers can be very self-serve, right? But a lot of other companies probably don't have that. So they have to have engineers involved and everything. So as I said, the boundary is blurry, but usually marketers are very exploratory and they do campaigns instead of product stuff. In terms of how you message your product, you want marketers' input. And also it depends on how established your company is, how platformized your company is, to see whether the marketers can do copy testing themselves. But regardless of product development, user research and the product go-to-market are like very heavy on product marketers.
They take approvals from you for the messaging, or like you are open, like you can freely
It also
test?
depends on the company culture. At LinkedIn, again, the product managers have a lot of say in products. So pretty much every single thing on the product goes to product managers.
Okay.
But also I trust my marketers a lot. Later we will talk about I trust my cross-functional partners a lot. And a lot of product managers don't do that. So I pretty much just look at whether, like out of the 10 copies, whether there is one single copy that I know it will have negative impact. I would just tell her. If there is no, then I'm open to test. Yeah.
I'm interested in the idea you say like productize a marketing campaign, because that reminded me of like Duolingo. I was wondering, how do you see their marketing like campaigns? Do you think like those are already like part of their product, or still like marketing?
Not part of their product. Like an easier way to see this is whether you see there is engineering team involved. You could think about product manager's job in this company as how do you spend your engineering effort better, right? If there are engineering team involved, then yes, product managers need to make a decision whether you want to spend your engineers on it. So back to Duolingo's case, if it is like social media, right? That's pure marketer. That doesn't need engineering team involved. That doesn't have R&D. If it is email, then marketers probably try it out. If it works, then engineering team involved and productize it. So it's pretty much just see whether there are engineering team involved or it involves the product decisions. But again, it depends on the company culture a lot. Like Google, it is very engineering-driven culture. So product managers do not have as much say as product managers at Meta and LinkedIn. If you meet the software engineers at Meta or LinkedIn, they will always complain about their product manager. And of course, every company complains about their product managers. But these 2 companies especially complain about their product managers because their product managers make a lot of decisions. Some examples. Previously, we talked about improve Who Viewed My Profile for job seekers, right? How I analyze the whole thing. I was using a very consumer product manager mindset for you. If we are thinking about what is the job to be done, what is the problem users have, how to solve the user's problem better to help them land the job better, right? Here, I give you an example of how a growth product manager think. Growth product managers think about two things. One is how to increase top of funnel. So you probably want to have either marketing campaign, BD relationship, whatever, or building like your entry points on a bigger surface, whatever, right? To increase your top of funnel. And then, other than that, all of the funnel is focusing on conversion. So how can you make the conversion better? How can you make more people from top of funnel to become your real users? Okay. So, for example, users coming from App Store, users come from SEO, from Google, users come from ChatGPT, right? All of those sources, whether you can increase new sources or you could increase new traffic, or how to increase the conversion of your existing funnels. These are like how growth product managers think, right? What are the conversions? Why is the conversion high or low? Is there member need that we didn't satisfy, right? If the users forget their password, how to give them an easier way to log in, right? If the users log out, how we help them to remember them next time when they log in, right? These are the ways to improve the conversion rate on the users sign up or the subscription sign up. Questions? So I think growth product manager is like the entry-level growth product manager is a very easy job. It's usually just like focusing on how to improve the funnel and how to improve top of funnel. But if you dive deeper into like higher level growth job, you probably can close the partnership that other people cannot close, or you can have a better negotiation power over your partners, or you know the user psychology so much that you can have like the best proposal on the marketing campaigns with your marketers, right? A growth product manager is everywhere. So they're very sensitive on how the user feel and think in every single step of the conversion, and they can exactly target your thinking and convert you. So another example is once the user sign up for LinkedIn, right? How to re-engage the users is also a question. If the user only come to LinkedIn once, then what are the reasons they are not coming back? So the growth product manager will think about exactly the reason that they're not coming back. Maybe they're not looking for a job. They do not look for their career growth. They probably care about something else. How can LinkedIn satisfy their new problem and give a new value prop to convert them, right? What are the channels that I use? What is the messaging I want to send out to the users? These are the thinking process for growth product managers. And growth product manager has to be very good at data. Yeah, so in my job, this is my famous or notorious email. And if you are a growth product manager and you look at this email, then you think about, wait, if I want to improve who will my profile page view, let's say, right? Improve who my profile freemium to pay sign up. The first job for me is to improve top of funnel of that page, right? How to improve top of funnel? Half of our traffic come from email and notification. Is it bigger in email? Is it bigger in notification? Which one have the higher potential, right? Let's say just email. On this email, you can realize that it is a very simple email. One thing is it only has one number, right? It doesn't tell you who viewed your profile. It doesn't have any other information. And they only have one CTA. All of these are specifically designed for a higher conversion because we don't want to provide two CTAs to make people feel confused. On this page, where to click at is very obvious. Okay, and also the title need to be like A/B testing. A lot of times, maybe adding your name there makes it feel more personal. Maybe the copy you are getting noticed feel more personal than you have whatever profile viewers, right? So all of this copy change, when to send out this email, whom to send out this email, how this email is designed, whether this email can fit in your phone's first screen, All of these matter for your conversion rate. And then this is an example of a business product management. Right? If you want to increase LinkedIn ads delivered revenue, then the questions that you want to think about is what is the marketplace? How is the supply-demand relationship? What are the different objectives of campaigns? If you guys haven't done ads, so different campaigns have different objectives. So you're optimized for impressions, you're optimized for reach, you're optimized for clicks, you're optimized for website visit, you're optimized for like install of your app, you're optimized for buying your product, right? On the whole funnel, there are a lot of different points that you want to target. For those who want to target reach or impression, those are brand marketing, right? For those who want to target the downstream click-through or the downstream conversion, you have different objectives. So what are different objectives for campaigns? What are the cost per impression, cost per reach, cost per clicks, cost per website visit? What are the CTRs? How are different AI algorithms perform? Accuracy, loss? Is there a new data source for us to improve performance? Is there a new model for us to experiment on? And what is our current margin? Should we raise the price? Right? These are the problems that a business product manager will think about. And then this is the platform, which is also the example that I used before, build a LinkedIn data infrastructure platform. The value of the platform team is always enable partner teams to do their job more effectively and efficiently, plug and play experience. Interview your partner teams, understand their strategy, vision, problems to be solved, their roadmap, observe how they use the platform, and find common patterns and improve the platform foundation. This also works on like this, here I use data infrastructure platform. There are also other platforms like, for example, Meta or LinkedIn or Google, these type of big tech companies, they have internal experimentation tools, right? Those tools also have product managers, they have those tools in-house built. So those product managers will follow up with like product managers, data scientists, how to use their platform, how I can improve the platform to make your job easier. Those are the platform PMs. And lastly, the research PM. What is the research team capable of? Is there anything I could do to faster the research? Is there any possible application to the research? Are there asks from partner teams? Prioritize the asks for my researchers. For product execution question, it's basically like all the skill sets that we previously mentioned in the product execution, right? So success measures, prioritization, A/B testing, go-to-market, customer feedback, cross-functional collaboration. So here, usually the type of question that you get is like define the success metrics of a certain product, of a certain feature, goal setting, a metric might go down, a metric might go up. You might want to like make decisions based on your metrics fluctuation. And also evaluation trade-offs, right? There are two product decisions. Just get back to what we previously discussed on the product design question. You want to have shorter billing cycle, or you want to have discount on your first subscription, right? Some metrics might go up, some metrics might go down. Revenue might not be your only criteria to evaluate which solution is the best. So you probably want to evaluate trade-offs and make trade-offs to decide which feature to launch. I will put this into following courses if we have time. And also the examples too. So also another type of question is diagnose, which is a very common thing that you have to deal with at work. And also if your product is very important. So if your product is important, the diagnose is called a war room. Okay, if your product is not important, or if your metrics up and down is not significant, that is called an investigation. Okay, so we don't really want to escalate an investigation to a war room. That is very chaotic. And a lot of leadership eyes on it, a lot of like execution involved in this. But basically, a metric down or up, you want to figure out the reason. And that is basically how we started a war room or investigation. And in a lot of execution, like interviews, they will also evaluate you on whether you could, what is your thinking process on diagnose questions. Okay, how to write a PRD. So first of all, add everything you mentioned before, right? Your strategy, your target user, job to be done, your pain points, your solution, prioritization, as MVP design, success metrics, and go-to-market. Why? Because you want to also tell your cross-functional partners why you designed this certain feature out of all the options you have. Why is this feature? Why do you want to design this solution, right? You want to communicate all the context with your cross-functional partners. The better your PRD is, the more offline back and forth there will be. And make sure to cover all the edge cases so your engineers and designers don't feel confused. How to make sure? AI coding tool is a good way to test. So if you're able to input your PRD directly to an AI coding tool and it directly come up with the product that you want, that means that you're explaining yourself pretty well. So you could use AI tool today to make sure that you understand the current implementations. Maybe you just throw your code into AI tool to help to like explain different use cases for you, or you can use AI tool to make sure that even AI understand what you said. Okay. So PRD is for cross-functional communication and scaling impact. If you only have 2 engineers, 1 designers work on your product, then you have a meeting, you can explain everything as well. But if your product feature right now is affecting 5 teams, different teams, and different orgs are looking at your PRD to understand what are you doing, you want to better have a documentation, or the 100 people are going to chase you down. So the PRD is for the simplicity of communication. If you want to write a PRD using AI tool, you can use MyGPT. Another point that I want to talk about is a good product manager is the center of the team. A lot of your cross-functional partners trust you. They trust you to make the decision. They trust you to be the domain expert, to give them a direction, to give them a trustworthy strategy and a good solution to help the team make impact on your customers, right? That's a good product manager. It's the center of the team. A great product manager decentralizes the team. If you are centralizing, if you are the center of the team, you're the blocker, okay? And you are one single person. You want, by adding all those contexts in your PRD and in your strategy, you want to make sure that all of your cross-functional partners are on the same page with you. If they have a question with your logic, they can point it out, they can challenge you. You want to make them feel comfortable to challenge you. You want to educate them how you think about the whole process. So if there is a very little decision to be made by engineers or designers, they can make the decision themselves. They don't need to reach out to you by simply what color is this button or how big this button should be, right? These are the decisions that cross-functional partners should make by themselves. They also, as you become more senior, you realize that they also could make a lot of product decisions themselves. A lot of times my engineers feel like, oh, this is something I want to fix. I think there is a gap. Sounds good? Sounds good. Go fix it, right? Like the only response from me is sounds good. They can make decisions themselves. So this is how you can decentralize the team so the team can move faster and you can scale your impact better. And also, different cross-functional partners have different skill set. If your cross-functional partner are not good enough, then that's your manager's job. Okay, so tell their managers how to help them to become their better self. But in the ideal stage, you need to trust your cross-functional partners. What do I mean by this? If there is a design provided by your designer, you don't like their design, you better have a very good business reason why you don't like the design. If you just don't like how the button look like, also tell your regions as well. But you need to trust your cross-functional partners to be the expert of their own domain. If you are trying to do your designer's job, your engineering job, your business job, you're again being the center of the team. It is very hard for you to scale the impact. You can probably just work with 5 people maximum. But if you help educate your cross-functional partners to be the experts of their domain, and also they know how you think, then you can scale your impact. So this is cross-functional collaboration. Some problems for PMs. First one, research bias. We talk about market research. We talk about user experience research. The whole research process is a collaboration between marketer and product manager. Especially for 0 to 1 products, product managers have huge hypotheses. You don't have enough data to support your hypothesis. So you want to validate those hypotheses through market research. The whole process might be recruiting candidates, questionnaire, interview. Right? These are different ways to get your research done. Most of the research on this planet are directional and are very biased. The non-directional and not biased research are very rare. Those are really good research. Why? Because usually it's the product team themselves conducting those research. If you have a centralized team, let's say usually marketers are not centralized, but researcher might be centralized, then they probably have the better non-biased way to conduct the research. But a lot of product team, when they conduct research, they will literally ask the user, do you want that feature? Of course, users will want that feature. You don't increase your freaking subscription price, right? So why not? Users will always say yes. So these are the directional questions that you are basically trapping your users into a hole. And they will exactly give you the answer you want. That's a very dangerous thing. Instead, you should never ask your users whether they want one thing or not. You should not direct them into your hypothesis. You should just observe your users, how they use the product, or observe the users, how do they solve their pain points today. And you have your own understanding of why this is happening and ask them to validate, like, why are you doing this, right? Why are you doing that? To understand their behavior and their thinking process behind it. If a user tell you what feature they want, just ignore it, okay? Just ask why instead of really focusing on what features they want. So you want to observe facts. You want to observe how they use product. You want to observe how they live their life instead of asking them questions whether you want that product. So ask more their user journey and thinking. Ask why they do what they do, not ask what they want. And also another reason why you cannot trust users is users lie a lot. Why? We previously talked about it, right? Users might talk about their feedback, might talk about their feeling, not because of your product, might be because of something else. They probably say certain things, have like other reasons for saying certain things, right? If you're saying that, your feedback might be like you're not getting enough profile viewers, right? No user want to admit that they don't have enough profile viewers. All of the users want to think that they are very popular on all the social media. So this is just a human nature. They want to look nice. They want to feel nice. So they say things that they don't mean or not valuable for your user interview. So for product managers, psychology means a lot. You always need to ask why. Why people say this, why the user say this, why the user do this thing in this certain way. We also previously talked about data-driven versus experience-driven. There is no right or wrong in this. Most of the companies are data-driven because if you're experience-driven, then there are just numerous escalations and debates happening. You feel it this way, I feel it that way. It is very hard for you to quantify what exactly is the path to go. So most of the company are data-driven if they have enough data. But experience is the fundamental quality, product quality, right? Is the fundamental principle of the product. You don't want to blast your users with notification and emails, right? I could send you all the like notifications in the world. 1% of you click in. I would say, good, I have more doubt. The quality is too bad, right? I could give all the people who open LinkedIn app a premium upsell, right? A full page premium upsell. I don't do that because the quality is too bad. So data-driven and experience-driven is a balance. That's also why B2B products are so hard, because a lot of times B2B products do not have enough data. If you only have several customers, enterprise customers, you don't have enough data. Even for like the size of LinkedIn, right? If you're doing ads product, a lot of detailed features that you launch probably not giving you static results. So you don't have data to support your hypothesis. You have to conduct research interviews, right? Those qualitative data, those qualitative feedback matter more. Your salespeople tell you these are what the users want. You have to take that into consideration. You don't have enough data to support your hypothesis. So data-driven and experience-driven is a balance. This is another thing to tell all of you guys to keep you guys up to date how we use AI today. So in big companies, we use AI for coding. We already don't have data scientists for product managers. We use AI data scientists. We draft PRDs using AI. We draft emails using AI. We do copy recommendations using AI. So originally, a lot of email campaigns or notifications are having like thousands of copies, and we just use supervised learning to choose which copy work for which users. But in the future, there will be more copy recommendations drafted by AI. So this is the trend, and the workplace trend is going. And what are the roles will be replaced by AI? I don't think these are surprising information anymore. Entry-level developers, product analysts, data analysts, business operations, and performance management. The more predictable your job is, the more likely you're gonna be replaced. Will product managers be replaced? Yes, I think absolutely yes. Especially for growth product managers, guys. I do think that's why I pointed out entry-level growth product managers' thinking process is very straightforward. They're optimizing the funnel, they're optimizing the conversion. So it's also very doable with AI. If AI did all the analysis from your competitors, if AI know all your previous experiments, their performance, they should also have good proposal on what is the next growth hack for you to pursue. There are incremental innovations, right? Incremental innovations are easier for AI to replace on the product manager. Bigger bets are probably harder. This is from our chief product officer. Everyone needs to be a full stack builder with AI expertise. This is just where the whole industry is going. Breaking into product management, today we also talk a lot about interviews. If you guys are more interested, go to my YouTube channel. Okay, we literally don't have more time to go through all of that. And the APM is extremely competitive. So is it worth it? Question mark, right? I'm leaving my words here. I don't think it is for everyone. So there are also a lot of other product management positions that you want to go to, maybe AI startups, hardwares, physical AI is a huge thing right now, other industries, or related functions, right? You don't want to just be very competitive APMs all the time for all the position that you apply for when you're doing job search. Or you can create your own company, which is one of the reasons why I started this course for a lot of you guys. What is your competitive advantage, right? We talk about this. That's why we started from product strategy, because I want all of you guys to be product leaders, no matter you are in big companies or startups. So your model is a competitive advantage, your data or your operations, right? For AI application startups, we previously also talked about it's really, really hard for you to have technical advantage. Building a good product is the key. Right now, a lot of AI application startups have very shitty product experience. That is also a consequence of most of the founders or tech founders. I think this is when a disruptive technology happened. Most of the founders are tech founders, and it just leads to a not good product experience. Now we're not saying it not good, not even targeting like conservatives. We're just talking about visionaries. The visionaries don't even want to use it. So a good product is also a key for you to build up your business advantage. A lot of AI landscape. These are the divisions that you probably want to keep an eye on. That's also why a lot of companies that I use as examples in this class fall into a lot of these divisions, because I want you guys to research on these divisions. These divisions might have more positions open, might have more opportunities in the future. So yeah, keep an eye. So how to stand out on LinkedIn? Just some tips for you guys to stand out on LinkedIn for your job search or for your startup. Just do a screenshot. I won't go through everything of them. Now I'm open for questions.
I have a question. So we've been talking about impact a lot in this class, and I guess I wanted to get a more exact definition of impact. Like, what exactly are we talking about when we talk about impact?
You talk about your potential impact to your true north, right? In our example, it is revenue. Then you talk about how much money you can earn. If your primary true north is a daily active user, then you're talking about how much daily active user you can drive to your company. If your true north is, let's say, the number of reactions on feed, then the impact is how many reactions on feed you can drive to the company.
One of the advice on how to stand on LinkedIn, you mentioned open to work. Do you think it is good to have that badge, or people or leaders or product managers whom we want to talk to, they consider they are desperate enough and the conversation will lead to getting a job?
There could be, but different recruiters think differently.
Okay.
All I can tell you is from a product side. I don't know how the individual recruiters think. If you want to target Meta, I don't know how Meta recruiters, single recruiter think, right? But all I can tell you is on the recruiter product, there is a filter called open to work. So they could very easily use that filter, filtering out all the people who are not open to work.
There is one feature,
Um,
right? Open to work, but for private, you don't get the badge, but the recruiters can see.
Yeah,
Hmm,
open only
got
to
it.
recruiters.
can you give us some suggestions about what kind of product manager we can choose for our first product manager job?
Oh, that is a very complicated question. So, we talk about in terms of the 5 product managers, right? I do have a very weird hypothesis of what are the personalities for different product managers. Um,
Oh, I
so
thought you said you were all of them.
yeah, because I'm so good at product management, so good at my job.
Multi-personality disorder.
Yes. So for the consumer product managers, they are very, very feeling based. So they are very sensitive to users' feeling and how they think. They're also very empathetic. So I do think that one person's personality is pretty much that. So if you are very creative, if you are very empathetic, if you are very go with the flow kind of person, then consumer product manager is a good role. On the other side, in contrast, right? If you are a very organized person, if you are very good at understanding out of a whole like complicated system where your product land at and how to improve your product, you are for enterprise. Okay. Enterprise product manager are not like as like creative as consumer product managers, but they are very good at organization and communication. Because for enterprises, I always like to use this as an example. Consumer product managers make you feel like you're playing basketball. Basically, you can give your ball to your teammates, or you can just shoot the ball yourself. But enterprise product manager feels more like playing soccer. It is very hard, extremely hard for you to take one ball from one side of the field to the other side. You probably have to work with your player to shoot the goal. So this is how I want to separate these two. Consumer product managers need a lot of creativity because you have a lot of room to play in. Enterprise product managers, you need to work with a lot of stakeholders because everything you change on your product means a lot to the whole ecosystem, to the whole system as well. So yeah, that's why the organization and the creativity and also the communication versus user empathy. And for the growth product manager, yeah, if you look at me, I'm a growth product manager. I'm very data driven. I look at numbers. I'm very like believe in data. Data is my strength. Data is my evidence. I don't believe in any other people's bullshit. I just believe in data. That is growth product managers. They're very good at numbers, and they're also very like growth product manager give you a feeling of every quarter you are gambling. Like it has that feeling. So if you are the kind of person you're crazy about metrics, like if you look at your experiment report, if it tells you that you drive $10 million, you're gonna be happy for no reason for the next 3 weeks. You are a growth product manager. I'm that kind of person. Okay, my experiment report is my daily dopamine. So you feel happy from the impact that you drive. That's the growth product manager. Also, what do I mean by data sense? That's a very interesting observation I have. So our VP on growth has a very unique skill set. So for example, in the weekly update, you say that, oh, you did this feature and you drove, let's say, 0.1% daily active user. His data sense is so good, he will point you out saying, no, that feature cannot drive 0.1% down. Like he knows what type of feature can drive how much of an impact in a rough sense without estimation. That's such a good data sense he has. And I previously ramped a feature and I said that however, like weekly active user I drove, and then he was like, there's no way. And he's just so sure about this. And my data scientist backed me up. My data scientist was like, no, this is not a direct readout from the report, but we did all this analysis and we land on this number. And this number is also reviewed by all the data scientist leadership. And my VP was like, no, that's not right. That number doesn't sound right. So after the weekly meeting, we just reviewed the numbers and we did make a mistake in that in that calculation.
Wow.
So Yeah, that's the data sense. And that's usually when you are very high up as a growth product manager, that's how good you are with the whole ecosystem. And business product manager, they're very logical, they're very good at math. They're just very business driven. They're good at business strategy. They do not really need to care about how user feel a lot. They just care about how much money or how much numbers they drive. Platform product manager, very good at observation, very good at communication as well. Also, if you want to be a very successful platform product manager, you also have to tell a good story about how to quantify your impact, because your impact is very hard to quantify. If I only own the data infrastructure platform at LinkedIn, it is very hard to prove to the leadership that I actually am a hardworking person. Because it is very hard to associate what the feature that I build on my team with business metrics of the company. You can't say that because you do this on the platform, the internal employees, like their efficiency increase, whatever, because you're not tracking it. There is no way of you actually tracking an employee efficiency, right? So you can only do an estimation. So that is very hard for you to evangelize your work to the leadership. Research product managers is, first of all, you have a passion on research. Not a lot of people have that passion. You want to read a lot of study and like paper yourself, and you probably was a researcher, and you just don't want to continue doing research anymore. So, but you have a huge passion on the new technology coming up, and you are also very technical driven. You are good at coding as well, usually. So you can kind of match the researchers and being their assistant as well in their research.
Got it.
So coming back to your question, as a new grad, which path do you want to go? I would say based on your personality. For example, I went through the whole LinkedIn APM program, and I don't need a rotation to tell me that I like consumer and growth, but I need to go through that rotation anyways. So it's just based on my personality and how I would want to work and where my passion is. I'm very interested. But eventually, if your scope is becoming bigger, you will know how to do different type of product management anyways. But this job market just act like this. Like however you started your vertical, your future employer is gonna think that that is your expertise. So that is what I think a weakness of today's job market. But that is just people's perception.